Yes. Please, for us.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. We are a center of love where we aspire to be loved, share love, and serve love. I'm Bonnie. I'm one of the ministers, and it's so great to see you here. And also a warm welcome to our folks that are viewing online. We're going to start with a few announcements, so let me go ahead over here and grab them. Okay. All right, so if you're new here, our website is printed here, venturacsl.org. And also, if you'd like to connect with somebody after the service, there will be ambassadors standing by. They're wearing teal stoles. Really, just connect with anybody. We're a friendly group, and just jump right in. And if you have any questions, please do let us know. We have a choir. It's called Hearts and Harmony Choir, and that rehearses most Sundays from 11:30 to 12:30. They rehearse in person downstairs, and please feel free to join, and everyone is welcome. We also have no, not yet. We have a Science and Spirituality group, and they meet the third Wednesday of every month. It's a hybrid meeting, so you can come in person or you can join on Zoom. And the book that they're reading this month is called Power versus Force. And the next meeting is April 15th at 6:30 p.m. So feel free to join us for that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call forth Bill, our youth person.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The children join me.
Oh. Hi.
Good to see you. All right. As Reverend Bonnie said, I'm Bill Hadris with Youth and Family. A few weeks ago, we planted some carrot seeds at the Heron House.
Did.
Neither one of you remember that, though, right? You weren't here? I don't think so. Don't know? Yeah. So, we planted those seeds. What do you guys think's going to grow? What's that?
Flowers.
Flowers? Probably not. Unless some flower seeds got in there with them. Yeah. Do you know?
Maybe carrots.
Maybe carrots. Most definitely. Most definitely. Ernest Holmes taught, we are planting our desire in the garden of a creative law of mind, which produces a plant exactly like the seed and never anything else. So, basically, what does that mean? If we plant a carrot seed, what are we going to get?
Carrot.
Carrots. Perfect. Okay. So I'd like you all to take a breath, close your eyes if you'd like, and imagine you are in a garden. It's the garden of your life. As you look around the garden, you can see mature plants. Those are the goals you've already accomplished. You can see young plants. Those are the goals you are currently working on. You can see little sprouts throughout the garden. And those are goals you've done at least one thing with. And look in your hand. There are seeds. Those are thoughts and ideas that are new. You can look up and feel the sun on your face. It's there watching, helping your dreams become a reality. And the clouds in the sky, those are your new and future high ideas. With that, you can open your eyes if you'd like and say this affirmation with me. Repeat after me. I blossom into greatness.
I blossom into greatness.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. Thank you. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. All right. Okay, let us go ahead and pray. We have Mark Lager, who's leading us in prayer today.
Practitioners and ministers, please stand with me as we anchor in this prayer for this community. I invite you to take a deep breath, enter into that sacred mystery within us. There is only one God, one life, one love, one intelligence, one consciousness throughout this entire world, creator of everything that is seen and unseen, permeating every cell of our bodies, so intimate with each and every one of us, and yet so transcendent throughout this universe. And I know that this divine presence, this source, loves me deeply. And as I know it for me, I know it for each and every one of us gathered here today and throughout this world. I know that we are loved deeply and completely. And I know that everything in this service then is blessed. Everything in this service is for our edification and our growth to become the best soul that we can be in this divine presence. And so I'm thankful for each and every one of us, for everything that happens today. Thankful for everyone who is in our lives, that touches us. And I plant my word deep within the mystery of the law, knowing that everything is whole, perfect, complete, and so it is.
And so it is. Thank you. And so let us continue to breathe into that space that was so beautifully established by Mark. This gentle reminder of who we truly are and what we're here to do. Opening our hearts to the oneness and the wholeness that is the divine, that lives and moves and has its perfect being in all of us. Today we breathe in, we breathe out. We recognize that the divine goes by many names. I am is one name for the divine, but it's also God, power, purpose, higher power, spirit, love. Whatever it is, whatever we call it, it is here, right here in this sanctuary with all of us, right here within each of us and every single place in the cosmos. And so together we sing in remembrance of that, and the knowing of that, and the trusting of that presence that is who we are always. We sing it for ourselves, but we also sing it for all beings everywhere, trusting that everyone is one with the divine, that everything is one with the divine. So together we sing, I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am peace. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. I am love. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am hope. I am remembering who I am. I am abundance. I am remembering. I am remembering. I am remembering who I am. I am remembering who I am. In the peace and the power of this sacred moment, in all sacred moments, which are omnipresent, let us remember and breathe in, and then exhale, gently opening our eyes as love, in love, and in service to what is, as it is. And so it is. Namaste.
Right, hello, everyone. Hi. It's always good to be back here. So today we're talking about the light within darkness, finding light in the darkness. And I'm going to do a song that I've done many times before. This is one of my original songs, Crash Boom, that I wrote after getting into a bad accident. And, you know, the music was a light in the darkness for me, and just, you know, I like doing triathlons, racing, dancing, but sometimes you get injured, you get sick, and music has always been there to hold me within that. So sometimes there's beauty that comes with it. And this is one of the light that came through the darkness, and it's a song called Crash Boom. I went outside for a ride to see how I fly, but the wind's out of the plans for me. I went outside for a ride to see how I fly, but the wind's out of the plans for me. I went around a curve and then I swerved and landed face first in the dirt. Life ain't always easy. It keeps you on your toes just to make you see At times it all comes way too soon when it goes crash, boom. See, I was lying on my face, and I was gonna miss my race. Had to stay in bed to rest my head. And now I gotta go slow and take it day by day, and then everything will be okay. Life ain't always easy. It keeps you on your toes just to make you see. At times it all comes way too soon when it goes crash, boom. Felt like I lost my smile, my partner too for a while. Calculations went over my head. See, when you fall in life, don't give up just quite. Rest up, no shame, and then get back in the game. Life ain't always easy. It keeps you on your toes just to make you see. At times it all comes way too soon when it goes crash, boom. Keeps you on your toes just to make you see. At times it all comes way too soon when it goes crash, boom. Life ain't always easy. It keeps you on your toes just to make you see. At times it all comes way too soon when it goes crash, boom.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica's here with her mom today. Yeah. Oh, good. And thank you, Michael, always for just showing up and playing. Thank you. Oh, so sweet. All right. Okay. Had to remember my talk title, had to pop up on the screen. So today we're talking about From Darkness to Light. And many of you probably know that this is Palm Sunday, which is a Christian holiday. And also next week, Passover starts. And you may have noticed that we're somewhat of an eclectic interfaith spiritual center. So this is going to be kind of a potpourri of symbols in various faiths. And also several people are contributing to this service. I have Jonna Shane, who's going to say a few words about Passover. Yeah, y'all can clap. Okay, good. And Mary Kerrigan, who is going to say a few words about psychology and also Buddhism. So as I mentioned, this is a potpourri, many different faiths, and I do need to get something off my chest first. I need to get something out of my system because it is Passover, and this is a church of joy, and in this church, I have a Passover tradition that I started last year, and that is dressing Chris Kimbler up like Pharaoh. I'm sorry. This year, he appears with his friend. Oh, hang on, wait. It didn't work. My big head is supposed to be on. There it is. This is his Egyptian friend. I don't know her name, but she's wearing a dog cone on her head, just so you know, okay? Anyway, so again, in the spirit of eclectic faith, the name of this talk is From Darkness to Light, and it's from a Hindu peace prayer, which is, "O God, lead us from darkness to light, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti." And Shanti means peace. So again, lead us from darkness to light, peace, 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 shanti, shanti, shanti. And that is something, a beautiful aspiration for all of us to hold in these interesting times that we're all engaged in. We're going to start by talking about Passover, since Passover starts later this week. And we're calling forth Jonna Shane. She's the one in the middle with the blue shirt. I believe that's in India, right? I think I've been to that restaurant. Anyway, Jonna's going to come forward and say a few words about Passover. So let's give Jonna some love as she comes to the stage. Good morning. Oh, you need this. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure. There you go.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
There is a story we tell every year. Passover, in its traditional meaning, honors the liberation of the Israelites from slavery in ancient Egypt. It is the remembrance of the people who were in bondage and by the power of God, guided into freedom and called to never forget that deliverance. It is a story of faith, of courage, and of divine intervention. But it is more than history. Egypt, in the metaphysical sense, is not just a place. It is a state of consciousness, a place where we may feel trapped, limited, or bound by something that is stronger than us. For me, that was alcohol abuse. For others, it may be fear, shame, old beliefs, or patterns that repeat no matter how hard we try to break them. This is Egypt. Just like in the story, there comes a moment when something within us says, enough. A stirring, a calling, a voice within us that refuses to be silenced. That is the awakening of Christ consciousness within us. The knowing that God is our source, our freedom, and our truth. And then came the plagues, not as a punishment, but as a disturbance. In the traditional story of Passover, the plagues were the forces that finally broke the grip of bondage. They disrupted everything that had been accepted as normal. They shook what felt unshakable. They made it impossible to remain the same. And while they appeared as devastation, they were in truth transformational. Because nothing truly transforms until what is no longer serving us is gently or sometimes powerfully shaken free. In our own lives, the plagues are not something happening to us. They are something that happens when an old consciousness can no longer sustain us. They are the breaking of illusions, unraveling the false identities we perceive, the discomfort when we are being called to rise. And yes, it can feel like darkness, but through science of mind, we understand that what appears as darkness is often a clearing. The releasing, the sacred disruption makes way for the truth. The plagues were not meant for punishment. They were meant for the beginning of freedom. It felt like darkness, but that is where our perception shifts and lifts us. The darkness was not there to destroy us. It is there to break the false so what is real can emerge. Then the moment. It comes, the crossing, the place where we must choose to step forward even when we cannot see the other side. The Red Sea does not part before we are ready to move. It parts as we move. That is the faith. That is science of mind in action. Not waiting for proof, but aligning with the truth. Trusting that the same power that was created within us is moving us forward. Yet it may feel as if something may still be chasing us. Old thoughts, familiar cravings, old identities calling us back. But once we have crossed, once we have tasted that freedom, we are no longer who we once were. We have been changed, and the waters close. The past loses its power. We stand not as victims, but as expressions of the divine, for we are free, free at last. Passover is not about leaving something behind. It is about remembering who we are. It is about rising out of the illusion of bondage and into the awareness of truth. It is about knowing that no matter how dark it has been, there is a light within us that has never been touched, it's never been diminished, nor has it been lost. So today, as we remember the story, we embody it. We claim our freedom and we walk out of Egypt in our own lives. We stand in the knowing that we are no longer bound. We are awake and we are free. Spirit is always remembering and whispering, rise. Walk in the light, my beautiful friends. Happy Pesach.
Thank you, Jana. So beautiful. Thank you. Look at that. Oh, Miss Jana. Goodness. Oh, my goodness. Well, I'm moved to tears, too. It's just so beautiful. Thank you, Jana. Beautiful symbols that you found in that. And I'm wondering if anybody here, you don't have to raise your hands or even raise your pinkies, if anybody here is experiencing any darkness in your life, or maybe a plague. And isn't it beautiful to reframe the idea of plagues as something that is a disruption? Not that we've done something bad, but it's something to shake us up and get us to move forward. And I love the part where Jana spoke about how crossing the Red Sea, the waters part when we take the step. It's not standing there wishing, hoping, with our fingers crossed, with our toes crossed, saying, oh man, I hope the Red Sea crosses. No, it's taking that step in faith. In faith. It reminds me of Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones, where he's about to step off a cliff and he has to actually take the step before something rises up to meet him. That's us. And I'm hoping we can take that first step today, remembering that Egypt is a state of consciousness. It is darkness. It is enslavement. Think about where you might feel enslaved. Jana mentioned addiction or shame or old beliefs or old patterns, old fears that limit the fullness, the complete fullness of Spirit's expression that longs to be known, that hidden treasure, to quote the Sufis, that hidden treasure that longs to be known through us, the fullness of God's expression through each of us, through each of our lives. And so take a moment again just to reflect on what feels like it's trapping you or limiting your freedom, what darkness or what experience of lack is happening for you right now, what plagues may be happening, and just hold that gently and know that we can release it together. We can release that and move into the greater yet to be. One of the greatest plagues I think that we face is darkness itself. And darkness I'm defining as the unknown. When we are mired in the unknown, we are waiting for the next shoe to drop, right? The other shoe to drop. And we don't think it's a nice shoe filled with candy or something that we love. It's a shoe that is all skanky and nasty, filled with odor eaters and all kinds of terrible old things. In that place of the unknown, in the darkness of the unknown, we wrestle with uncertainty. There's a lot of uncertainty going on in the world right now with politics and the economy and personal situations, aging. Oh my goodness. Again, you don't need to show your gray hair, but who here, I mean, does anybody here find that getting a little older is fraught with a certain amount of uncertainty? Right? Okay, all right. A certain amount of letting go, you know, and as I'm getting older and realizing that my body doesn't work quite like it used to, and I'm letting go of various things in my life, it feels like pulling off a Band-Aid really slowly, right? I happened to watch The 40-Year-Old Virgin last night, and I saw the scene, you know what I'm talking about, right? Where, what's his face? Steve Carell has his chest hair ripped off, right? What if she had done that slowly? It would have been all that much worse. And I cannot quote what he said when his chest hair was ripped off, because it's church, okay? So, you know, to me, it often feels like we can probably all imagine this, of like driving in the dark on a dark road in the middle of the night without any headlights. What would that be like? It would be terrifying. And so how do we navigate that? How do we hold our fear of the darkness? And why are we afraid of the darkness? Why are we afraid of the darkness? And then how do we reframe it? We have a psychologist coming up to speak who knows about darkness, light, children, and a bit about Buddhism too. So she's going to tell us about the darkness and also the how to reframe it. Thank you, Mary. Go for it.
Okay, good morning. Children are afraid of the dark. And Reverend Bonnie asked me, why are children afraid of the dark? And it used to be the idea that, well, children have imagination and they're in the dark, and so their imagination takes over and they think about monsters and goblins and all sorts of terrible things happening. And I thought, that's a weird theory, because imagination, they could be thinking about princesses and castles and candy. So I really liked it when psychology moved into the idea of neuroscience and brain psychology, and we looked at brains, and we are programmed to be afraid of certain things because we need to be aware of them for our survival. We have a survival brain. So in the ancient times, people that had brains that figured out that the dark was dangerous, because that's when predators, lions and tigers and snakes and the other people from other tribes would come and attack. Those people developed brains that understood that the dark was dangerous, because that's when bad things happened in the old times. And so when they discovered how to make fire, they would have a fire, they would have some light, and they would gather around it in the dark, you know, praying for the sunlight to come again. So those are the brains, those are the humans that survived. The brains that didn't figure out to be afraid of the dark, they died off, you know, because of the lions, tigers, and snakes, and the other tribes. So one of the things that the brain got conditioned to then was to be afraid of things that threatened your survival, and dark was one of them. And the brains also learned that you had more chance of surviving if you gathered around, reached out, came together. So tribes were formed. So that's why we're afraid of the dark. And when a child cries out in the dark, they want their mommy or they want their daddy, you know, or they want a nightlight on. They want some way of reassurance that they're going to be okay, that they're going to get through the night, through the dark. So that's why we're afraid of the dark.
Thank you. I
Yes.
appreciate that.
Do you want me to go on and
Yes,
talk about
please do.
Buddhism?
Yes.
Okay. So I was having conversation with a friend of mine who lives in Washington, D.C. She was so excited when the Buddhist monks were walking from Texas and entering into Washington, D.C. So she went down to be amongst of the huge crowd, thousands of people who came to the Washington Monument to greet the monks. She had been a very angry, frustrated artist for years. And when she discovered Zen Buddhism, it changed everything. It changed her artwork. It changed everything in her life. So she was really excited to be with these monks. And so when she got closer and closer to the monument, she heard this big, loud voice coming over a megaphone. They're the Antichrist, they're the evil, they're the Satan, they're the devil, you know, go away, don't trust them, they're terrible. There's one man in his own consciousness believed that he needed to warn everyone against the monks, that they were evil and they were bad. And she was so disturbed, my friend was so disturbed by this. She wanted to get into anger and hatred. How dare they? How dare he be here? How dare he do this? That's where she wanted to go. Instead, she watched the monks. The monks were a little bit farther away. They were speaking very quietly. They were talking to people. They were greeting people. They were embodying peace. And she was so impressed. She thought, wow, you can be at peace even with all this adversity, even being under attack. They were holding peace. And it meant so much to her to see that there is a way to be in the world that gives you peace, regardless of the darkness that's happening. And so I said to her, you know, our minister says that the contrast between dark and light is really important, that the darkness, that man on the megaphone, trying to be disruptive and hateful, was a gift. I said, he was really a blessing. It made you appreciate what the monks had to offer even more. And she said, it's true. At first, I was just excited to go down and see my heroes. But what I experienced was what they really were about. I experienced peace. So, the blessing is in the darkness.
Yes. Yes, thank you, Mary. Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, Mary, you too hit it out of the park, and thank you. I appreciate you quoting me, but I think I actually learned that from Bernie Austin. So, and you see what we're doing here, right? There are so many sources of wisdom. I hope nobody thinks that I'm the only source of wisdom here, because there's so many sources of wisdom sitting here in this congregation, in this community. And I just so appreciate that both of you said yes to stepping up and sharing your wisdom through your lens, because it's even that more special coming through community members. So thank you so much. So Mary talked about the contrast between dark and light, and that they're interdependent. Darkness and light are interdependent. We can't really have one without the other. And I was thinking of a friend of mine who, she kind of lost everything at one point in her life, and she was talking about how she felt like it was a tsunami. She was waiting for a tsunami wave, because when a really big wave comes in, everything is sucked out to the ocean first, and then it all pours in. And she was waiting for a tsunami of light to come into her life. She felt like the pulling away or the darkness was again that making room for something new to come in, some new light to come into her life. And that was her appreciation of the contrast of darkness and light. I read an article, not to leave Palm Sunday out, because it is Palm Sunday, right? This is Christianity, that talked about how when Jesus was walking into or riding into Jerusalem on a lowly donkey, that it was kind of a joyful death march. There was a lot of joy around him, but he and others close to him knew what was about to happen. But at the same time, I'm going to assume that he knew that the Christ consciousness, which is the consciousness of oneness, that he needed the crucifixion in order to experience the resurrection. And he even found joy in this walk to this ultimate fate of ultimately resurrection. And so in all of those things I asked you before about, is there darkness in your life? Does it feel like there's a plague? Can we reframe that and see it as contrast? Can we see that as a possibly necessary step to the greater yet to be that wants to pour into us like a tsunami wave, even greater because we have experienced the darkness? If not even greater, at least we'll appreciate it more because of the darkness. And appreciation is so attractive to the good that is already among us. That the realm of heaven is within us, it is always around us, and that we get to experience it through the work of appreciation. So we can know the power and the truth of light over the darkness. Now, I actually asked that question. I asked Dr. Google about it, because I was wondering, am I just making that up because of my religion? Am I making up that light is more powerful than darkness? And scientifically speaking, according to Dr. Google, it says that yes, light is measurable energy, a presence, and darkness is simply absence. And think about it this way, if you like. Let's say you've gone out at night and you drove home, hopefully with your headlights on, right? And you left the house completely dark except for a porch light, right? And so you put the key in the lock and you open up the door. Does the darkness, I was going to say vomit forth onto the porch? It's one of my favorite words. No, it's the other way around. The light spills into the darkness. And that to me is a sign that light can overcome darkness, that it is more powerful than darkness. And the question, it said in what I was reading, the question isn't whether light is powerful enough. It's whether we're willing to walk in the light, So how do we do that? Well, Jana in her piece was saying that we break illusions, that we unravel our false identities, we remember who we are. Mary was saying that we can reframe the darkness and recognize it as something powerful. But the point is that we are the ones that get to change. We don't have to change, we get to change. We get to release familiar identities that keep us in the dark. The most important work that we say here many times is healing our sense of separation from God. That's why we sing I Am Remembering every Sunday, although there's some debate about whether or not we should keep that in. So if you know another song, preferably in a minor key, that you'd like me to throw in, please do let me know, okay? But we're remembering our true identity, which is all of those things I holler out during the song and more. It's our love, it's our freedom, it's our peace, it's our grace, it's our oneness, it's our connection, not only with God, but connection with one another, our community that keeps us safe, that keeps us drawing towards the light. It is that and so much more. Been reading a lot of Ram Dass lately, and Ram Dass says that we are not a role, we are a soul. We are a soul playing a role. Imagine if an actor gets too caught up in his role. He or she decides that they are actually that person. Imagine if Jennifer Aniston really thought that she was Rachel Green, right? Imagine if Yul Brynner, since it's Passover, if Yul Brynner playing the Pharaoh, what if he really thought he was the Pharaoh? It's my favorite thing, y'all. Thank you for putting up with me. I'll just switch the slide so we don't have to stare at King Tut over there, okay? Anyway, Ram Dass says again that we are not our role, we are a soul, and we are the soul playing a role. The soul decided to incarnate, to come in here and put on this spacesuit, on the planet Earth here and play a role. You know, and I also read from Ram Dass this conversation that he was imagining, a conversation between the human, the role, and the soul. And the human says, I'm dying. And the soul says, really, again? And certainly, you know, this is up for many of us. I spoke a little bit about aging recently, or just now, and I was thinking as I was losing certain things in my life, you know, particularly last summer when my 2 big red dogs died, and how fun it is that their Uncle Jeff is here today. Thank you for that. My 2 great red dogs died, one right after the other, in this crazy scenario. And through no fault of my own or our own, they left the planet. And I just remember thinking, who am I without my dogs? You know? Who am I without my once healthy, vibrant, I'm pretty healthy, but you know, without the body that I had when I was 20? Who am I without that? Who am I without this job? Who am I without that job? Who am I without this person in my life? Who am I when my children leave home and go to college? Oh my God, who am I without this thing? And the truth is that we are still that soul that endures through everything. We are the light of God wearing a human costume, a human spacesuit, and here we are. So we remember, we identify with the soul, and this takes practice. I love it that a little soul was giving angel bells as I was saying that. If you didn't hear it, there was a beautiful little ringtone, which I love cell phones. I think we should all just keep them on all the time in church. I love it. Oh, so we remember and we identify with the soul. We can still have our roles, of course. We can still have love and loss and all of that. We can still want things to be a certain way, but the truth is that beyond all of that wanting, all of that holding on, there is this soul that is omnipresent and infinite, and it takes practice to remember this. I know for me, one of the practices I've been working with lately, not completely successfully, by the way, is to recognize that I am often wandering around, bless you, like a zombie in a trance. Anybody? You know, so focused on my to-do list, so focused on all of the busyness that I have that I'm not even paying attention to what I'm doing. And so I'm practicing to get in touch with my soul, to get in touch with the eternal, is to just practice mindfulness. And this doesn't mean doing a 5-step prayer or reciting a psalm or anything like that. It is simply saying, I am opening the cat food. I am putting on my shoes. And just breathing and allowing that to be a trigger to relax, so that hopefully with practice, like I said, I'm not that great at it yet because I'm still trying to do 12 things or think about 12 things at once. Hopefully with practice we can get a little better at that, and that will draw us into a greater state of mindfulness where we are able to receive the grace and the goodness that is already ours. It's already ours. I'm going to close with a story. I'm not sure why I'm telling it, but it felt right to tell. This is the cellist of Sarajevo. His name is Vedran Smelovic, I think. And he chose to bring light to the darkest of circumstances. So in the midst of the war in Sarajevo, Bosnia, he was a renowned cellist. He played for the Sarajevo Opera, I believe. And at that time, 22 people were killed in a downtown square when they were just minding their own business, waiting on a food line to get food. And so this cellist decided to plant himself in that square and some other places and play for 22 days in memory of the people that lost their lives. It was at great risk to himself. And people were confused by this action. They said, "Why are you doing this? Why are you playing the cello where soldiers are dropping bombs?" And his response was, "Why are soldiers dropping bombs where I'm playing the cello?" And I don't know why I love that so much, but I think it mirrors what Ernest Holmes says, is that we don't change reality, we change our position in it. So the point of that is that there will always be darkness, there will always be light, there will always be contrast here on the planet Earth. But where is our position in it? Can we hold the dynamic tension of both and be that circle that surrounds the yin-yang symbol, that circle that holds both darkness and light with a certain level of grace and detachment, and understands that it is a process of going back and forth, that understands that darkness exists as contrast, but ultimately light is more powerful. Think of the porch door opening and the light spilling into the room. That place within us that sees the darkness and the light, but remembers who we are, that we are not a role, we are a soul playing a role. And to practice that remembrance through mindfulness and breathing and trust and kindness and all of the things that we teach here, all of the things that you radiate as great examples to me and one another. I'm going to close with a Christian prayer. This was offered by Lucky Lynch. Just a piece of it. And let's read this together. Here we go. We put our trust in the power of good to overcome evil and the power of love to overcome hatred. Let there be light. And I'll say to you, be the light, because you already are, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks. Okay. And so together we join in prayer, and we just, I'm gonna do the 5 steps out of order, people. I'm gonna start with gratitude. Just great gratitude for this gathering today, for the people that contributed to this service, with being here, being present, the people who spoke, the people who are playing musical instruments, the people who are playing music in a world that is sometimes trouble, and all of us showing up with our hopes and our dreams and our passions, all of us in our darkness and light. I know that it's all God. I know that it's all God. And I celebrate it and trust it and know that together we are moving to this great place of understanding who we truly are, that we are infinite, that we are immortal beings, that we are powerful, that we are gracious, that we are good. And so I hold this truth for each of us here today, knowing that our lives are uplifted and healed through the grace of Spirit, through the omnipresent goodness of Spirit that moves and lives and has its perfect being through each of us. I hold this also collectively for our world, for our country, for every city, every state, every place in the world, every place in the cosmos, knowing that there is this circulation of good and grace. And that we open our eyes so that we may see it and celebrate it and call it forth in all of its glory. And so I trust this time together has been fruitful, that we will go forth and express these truths, each individually in our own way, applying these truths and beyond, truths even greater than what has been spoken here today, to deepen in our relationship with Spirit. And I'm so grateful for that, so grateful for this gathering, so grateful for Spirit, so grateful for love, so grateful for transformation. Today I bless all paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, walking Buddhist monks, fundamentalists, atheists, the animal kingdom, everybody, every living thing, every inanimate thing, I offer it blessing, which is recognizing the truth about it. And so in that spirit of truth and gratitude, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste.
Thank you, Bonnie.
My pleasure.
So I love the talk because I had these little visuals as you were talking. So when you were talking about the shoe dropping,
Yes.
Jessica, I saw your shoes.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, those are nice shoes.
They're nice shoes. Very good shoes.
Nice shoes. I don't mind if that shoe drops.
Yeah. Right.
And then I love that Chris, as King Tut, got the blue memo.
He got
He's
the what?
he got the blue.
Oh,
He
yes,
was
he
dressed
did.
in
Yes,
blue.
he got the blue. Yes, many of us are dressed in blue today.
Yeah, dressed in
Yeah.
blue. So, I see the message a lot differently than
Okay,
most
good.
people, but-
All right. As one should.
as one should.
Yes.
But one of the things is all of the message was really about how can I see my life, this situation differently. And that was a big lesson for me coming here. But you know what? I couldn't do it alone. I needed a community to support me as I walked that different path. And so it excites me to see everybody here today because we're the community that can help you see it differently. And so just in that space of gratitude, knowing that we have such a beautiful awakening here, I just hope that you're grateful too. So
thank you.
in that spirit, let's do our offering prayer together. We trust,
trust
in
in
spirit.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are. We offer these gifts. They are an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion. Our gifts bless many and return to us multiplied in miraculous ways, so that we may give again. And so it is. Thank you.
All right, one more song here. So, through darkness, a lot of beautiful music has been made because aside from being a performer, Tim also a music therapist, and it's all about using music to help us move through emotions, move through life. And we have this thing called the ISO principle where we meet clients where they're at in music. So you kind of take an intake of what your musical taste is and what stories, what music tell the stories of your life. And then you kind of meet them where you're at. So if they're sad, somebody's sad, you don't just play a happy song and like, come on, let's get happy. You have to kind of meet them. Sometimes you have to play that sad song or you have to play that angry song, and it's an expression, it's a release. So I'm going to play an instrumental song here called Nataliana, and it's a song that I've always really loved when I started playing harp. So here it is. Enjoy and just sit with it and enjoy the beauty of this song.
Thank you. Thanks, Jessica. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here. Quick thing. So announcements. We are, website. Okay, so we do a great fundraiser here called Gourmets for God every year, and you bid on parties. The parties are fantastic this year. It's all set up out there. You're going to go see one of our helpers there, and they'll get you started as to how to bid. But it's a really wonderful way to build community and to build our center, and also you get some really great food and experiences as well. Let's see. Yes, we have Easter visitors, okay? So that's farm animals, people, okay? So we've got Blueberry the horse, Ryan Gosling the goose, and another little donkey. It wasn't the little white donkey from Christmas. He got fired, evidently. He got a little wild someplace. But anyway, we've got farm animals coming on Christmas. They're going to come in for the children's message and then go out, not Christmas, Easter. They're going to go out. And so if you've got kids, this is a great opportunity to bring your kids if they want a little petting zoo experience at church, as one does, right? So, and we've got handlers, but I need someone to help pick up the poo-poo. You in? Okay, good. She's awesome, Patricia. Oh, we're building a village here, people. It's beautiful. Okay, no task is too lowly. Okay, next thing is that we are starting a new class. I'm starting a new class the week after Easter. It starts April 9th on Thursday evenings or April 10th on Friday mornings, and it is based on the teachings of Gandhi and the monks who walked that Mary spoke about. I just feel like there's this really strong need for us to develop the consciousness of peace. And I think coming together as a community and learning from each other and also reading some of the really rich material I have from my friends who study Gandhi, I think we can really start to evolve that and see where it takes us, mostly into the present moment and cultivating our own sense of peace and our own sense of trusting that the light can transcend the darkness. It's not a literal walk. Some people are contacting me and say, we're going to walk for 2 hours, really? At night? No. It's sitting in a circle and talking and learning from one another. And also there's a minimal amount of homework, but come and sign up for it and just give it a try. Even just come the first night and see if you like it, if it fits for you. And I think it's going to be really beautiful. So thank you. All right, next thing is hospitality. We've got hospitality through those doors there. You can come and check out the bookstore and our giveaway table. We've got lots of great food. There's been an expression of people wanting to help after service. So if you want to do something after the service, if you're looking to serve today, if you feel like it, we've got various things you can do. Cleaning up dishes, washing dishes, cleaning up after hospitality, replacing the tissue boxes in the chair. Jennifer, who do they see about that? Jennifer's not here. How about Bernie? Okay. See Bernie. Yeah, see Bernie if you want a little job, a little something to do after the service, okay? And last but not least, we are so blessed to have prayer with a practitioner after the service. We call them 1-minute miracles because you will experience the beauty of prayer as you come forward and allow one of our practitioners to pray with you. It is their honor to serve in this capacity. And so we truly are so blessed. And if you don't have time or want to pray in person, we've got little blue papers in the chairs in front of you. You can fill out one of those, put it in that box there, and our wonderful director of the Ministry of Prayer will take it. There's Susan, and all the practitioners will pray with you. Okay? Many, many options, much beauty, much grace here, and thank you so much for being here. Let us do our final affirmation, and why don't we stand up to do that, and then we'll sing. Here we go. Please read with me. I am held in Spirit's holiness, divinely guided by wisdom, courage, and love. I am always connected. I am love. I share love. I serve love. Thank you for my life. And so it is. I want to sing